Hello everyone, my name is Dana Lewis and I'm doing my project on teen violence. Teen violence is real and is a big part of teenagers' life in the society we live in today. If we affirm the importance of parental responsibility, I believe that parents have a social and a moral, if not a legal, obligation to see the welfare of their children until they reach the age of maturity, which in most laws are age of 18. Over the past 2 months, there have been random flash mob violence in the Philadelphia area. Teens that are involved in gangs are more likely to commit a violent act towards another person and even possibly kill themselves. The longer a child lives in this type of environment, the more violent they may become, but this situation can be avoided. Today I would like to give you some information about the following: teen violence, which should be taken seriously, why parents need to take responsibility for their children's actions and needs, and what a parent can do to take responsibility for their children's actions and needs. What causes teen violence? Some of the most common reasons for acting out involve modeling behaviors. If teens see violence at home, in the movies, in video games, or on the street, they are more inclined to copy such behaviors. Others who experience bullying or teasing become enraged enough to begin acting out in revenge. This can be another cause of teen violence. Accessibility of the means to carry out violence is another cause of teen violence. Most experts agree that when a teen has access to the tools necessary for a violent plan, the chances of teen violence actually occurring increase. Why parents need to take responsibility for their child's actions. If parents believe that they will be held liable for their inactions or inappropriate actions of their children, they are more likely to make sure their children are supervised and well cared for. Minor children should not be held legally accountable for their actions, nor should they be obligated to provide for themselves until they have reached the age of maturity. Governments have established laws drawing distinctions between adults and juveniles for a reason. These governments believe that juveniles make mistakes and are not necessarily prepared to be fully responsible for their actions. Parents and the community at large have a responsibility to raise children to act appropriately in society. If society or more specifically parents fail in the task, it is not reasonable for the children to suffer sole responsibility for these actions. Laws that preserve parental responsibility improve family life. As parents are encouraged to take responsibility for their children and such responsibilities become a cultural norm, families will develop closer bonds, marriage will become stronger, and the problems of broken families will decrease. Children are less likely to engage in acts of delinquency if they feel that their parents are likely to be held legally responsible for their actions. Now, how can a parent take responsibility for their children's actions and needs? Children who learn some sense of responsibility early in their childhood tend to be more self-sufficient, less codependent, and more likely to take responsibility for their own actions in adulthood. Responsibility is a learned skill, and it is your role as a parent to ensure that you are providing your child with the tools to learn their very critical skill early in life. The role of a parent needs to be a proactive one when attempting to raise a responsible child. Learn to recognize the opportunities to teach responsibility at every stage of your child's development. Now, just wanted to say thank you and for listening to my project, and I also would like to just let the audience know to take responsibility for your children's needs and actions by teaching your child, number one, some responsibility, and being a proactive parent is the best way to limit teen violence. In conclusion, basically, to prevent your children from getting into trouble, I challenge you to remember the dangers of teen violence. I also challenge you to take responsibility of your children's needs and actions. And for my visual, I have a sign, basically, of statistics of shootings and from weekly shootings that happen from midnight into 12 a.m. I also have a picture of 2 teens getting into a scuffle, and I also have a visual on the differences of why teens get into violence, which is peer pressure, anger/emotional abuse, using social status, intimidation, threats, sexual coercion, and isolation and exclusion. And I just basically have a sign that says "Stop Teen Violence." I just would like to say thank you, and you have a good one.